Chapter 20. An Unforgivable Act. A week had passed since Naruto and Tayayu had returned from Sunagaku. Tayayu had yet to give Naruto a real answer of if she would move in with him or not. Though, in a sense she had already due to the fact that she was staying at his apartment every night. They weren't sleeping together every night, she just would be there and decide that she didn't want to go home to her apartment. It wasn't that Naruto was complaining, he truly did enjoy when he would wake up with Tayayu next to him. Usually she would have her head resting on his chest when he would wake up before her. He would just spend a couple of minutes watching her sleep with a smile on her face. He would always wonder what it was she was dreaming about, but would wake her up with a kiss. Her response was usually the same. Kiss him back, smile, look at clock, then push him down and go back to sleep while she complained about being up so early. Every morning it would be the same unless she was feeling frisky that morning. If she was, then they would have sex before she went back to sleep. When she would eventually decide she was ready to get up, she would, yawning and complaining that Naruto wasn't comfortable. He smiled at his red-headed goddess of a girlfriend as she did her typical morning stretch after complaining his chest wasn't comfortable. He just looked at her. If I am so uncomfortable, then why do you sleep on my chest every night, with a smile to Tayayu-chan. Tayayu looked at him. I do not. Naruto smiled as he continued to look at her. Who do you think knows better, Tayayu-chan? I wake up before you do, so I know what you look like when we wake up, or more specifically, while you sleep. Tayayu narrowed her gaze at him. Shut up, Naruto. Naruto smiled as he got out of the bed in his boxers. Well, that isn't very nice, Tayayu-chan. I like when you smile in your sleep. Tayayu blushed a bit as she turned away from him. Only in her panties and bra. I said to shut up, Naruto-kun. Naruto smiled as she added in the kun to his name. She always did that if she was embarrassed in the slightest. He snaked his arms around her waist, kissed her in the crook of her neck. You still haven't given me an answer, Tayayu-chan. You know it's okay if you say no, right? Tayayu looked at him as he finished his sentence. She looked into the blue eyes that possessed a fox slit where a pupil should be. Do you want me to say no, is that it? Naruto looked at her. Of course not. But I just want an answer is all. It has been a week and you have stayed here with me every night. I don't know if that is normally how it works, but I just want to know is all, Tayayu-chan. Naruto released her from his grasp so that she could take a couple of steps. She did and turned to look at him. She could see that he really wanted to know. He was starting to think that he shouldn't have offered it to her. He should have stayed quiet, but he was genuinely concerned at the time. He didn't live in a safe area, though it wasn't by choice. Naruto sat down on the bed. I really won't be angry if you say no, Tayayu-chan. I understand that I may have asked too quickly. It's like you said when we were in Sunagaku, though. We have lived together before. We are serious about us. Our life expectancy isn't great as ninja, as well as I am being hunted. I guess that I got ahead of myself again, that is all. Tayayu continued to look at him. You really should stop trying to analyze everything. You usually are wrong anyways. Naruto rose an eyebrow as he looked at her. Am I wrong this time, Tayayu-chan? Tayayu just continued to look at him. Perhaps. Naruto sighed. Please give me an answer soon, Tayayu-chan. When you do, I will do whatever you want, no matter the answer. Tayayu had an evil smile which made Naruto worry a bit. Though, he didn't have to worry as much now. He was about 50% sure it would have to do with making love. Naruto looked at her as she came closer to him, kissing him on his forehead like he always used to do to her. Naruto smiled up at her as she looked down into his eyes. Then the answer is yes. I was just waiting for you to sweeten the pot for me, shithead-kun. Naruto looked at her, his smile growing larger as she gave him an answer. Naruto couldn't help but smile from the answer. It was the one he was hoping for. She looked at him. You said that you would give me whatever I want. Naruto looked at her with a more serious look and nodded his head at her. Taya유's eyes flashed deviousness on a new level. Now he was starting to feel worried. Tayayu put her hands on his cheeks. We are going to have sex in your precious Ba-chan's office. Naruto's eyes widened. Tayayu-chan. That could be the end of both of us if we are caught. Tayayu nodded her head as she sat on his lap. Think of how exhilarating it will be, though. Naruto sighed as he kissed her on the cheek. Sometimes I worry about you, Tayayu-chan. The red-headed woman looked at him. What about the other times? Naruto smiled as she asked him something he had once asked her when she had said that she hated him. He smiled at her some more before giving her a quick peek on the lips. That is when I worry about me. Chiyuya frowned. Here I thought you were going to try and be romantic and say you love me. Naruto pulled her closer to him. I love you all of the time though, Chiyuya-chan, so that wouldn't work as an answer for your question. Chiyuya blushed a little. Guess you can be a little romantic then, huh, Naruto-kun? Naruto smiled as he released her so that she could get up. When would you like to move your stuff over here, Chiyuya-chan? Chiyuya yawned a little as she looked around. Most of my stuff is already here since I have gone home to get things then brought them here. Only some things remain like our new sheets and such. Naruto gave her a confused look. New sheets? What are wrong with mine? Chiyuya looked at him then at the sheets, other than the fact that they are orange. Naruto looked at them and then back at her. What is it that you have against the color orange, Chiyuya-chan? You have never liked it. Chiyuya smiled as she put her hand on his chest and started to push him back slowly. Red is the better color. Naruto smiled back at her as he let her guide him to be partially laying on the bed. They are almost the same color. Chiyuya was ignoring him at this point as she leaned down and kissed him. Want to fuck, Naruto-kun? Naruto slid up so that he was all the way on the bed and pulled her up to his lips for another kiss. He rolled her, pinning her underneath him so that her brown eyes were looking into his blue eyes. She for some reason really liked the fact that he had a fox slit in them. It made them even more unique. Naruto just smiled softly at her. No, I won't fuck you, but I will make love to you if you want. Chiyuya rolled her eyes. This one again. Fine. Make love to me then. It's the same damn thing. Naruto looked at her. No, it's not. For a minute they looked at each other, then he elaborated. Making love is showing how much you care about the other through physical means. Fucking is just releasing sexual urges on someone. I don't do that with you, Chiyuya-chan. I want to make you feel amazing while showing you how much you mean to me through physical means. Chiyuya looked at him. You're still releasing sexual urges though. The blonde-haired man sighed. That's true, I suppose, but I do this because I love you, not for any other reason. The red-headed woman looked at him. You also did because it makes you feel amazing. You like fucking me. Naruto just had a small smile as he shook his head. I like making love to you, yes. Chiyuya put her arms around his neck, pulling his ear down to her lips. Then fuck me. Naruto kissed her neck, giving up on the argument for now, though he knew this was one that would last a while. They made love or fucked, depending on which one you asked. They showered quickly after that, then they were off to Chiyuya's apartment to gather the remainder of her things to move her in. Then, they would have to go and tell Tsunade that they were living together. Naruto was just hoping that Chiyuya wasn't going to make him do what she asked today. Maybe on a day Tsunade usually went and had drinks with Jiraiya, that would be a good day for her prize. Naruto wasn't about to get his hopes up though. For some reason Chiyuya and Tsunade liked to irritate one another. Naruto knocked on the office doors and waited until he heard Tsunade tell him to enter. He did, with Chiyuya hot on his heels. Hey Ba-chan, old hag. Tsunade smiled at Naruto, then glared at Chiyuya. They both had a small stare down with one another, then Tsunade turned her attention to Naruto. Why are you both here? You're not knocked up, are you? Chiyuya narrowed her eyes at Tsunade. No, I am not pregnant. Tsunade smiled. Oh, thank Kami. Chiyuya growled a little. What is that supposed to mean? Tsunade stood. What do you think it means? Chiyuya approached the desk and slammed her hands down. You're getting on my nerves, you old perverted hag. Tsunade glared right back at the red-headed woman. Who do you think you are calling a pervert, fucking my son's brains out all the time? Chiyuya looked over at Naruto with an I told you so look, since Tsunade referred to it as fucking. Naruto sighed. We make love, not fuck. Tsunade looked over at him. Be quiet, I will deal with you in a minute. Said blonde-haired man sighed as he sat down to watch them argue with one another. He had to admit, it was at times funny to watch. Though at some point it always ended up making him feel bad or embarrassed. Chiyuya looked back at the fifth Hokage. He doesn't complain. Tsunade gave a quick response. He is a guy, of course he doesn't complain. How stupid are you? Chiyuya's growls became more audible. I'm not. I do it because I love him. Naruto shot up. Aha. I win this one, Chiyuya-chan. Chiyuya looked him. What is rule number 1? Naruto gave her a blank look for a minute. That Tayuya-chan is always right. Tayuya nodded, making him smile that he knew then it sunk in what she was saying. Damn it. I was so close too. Naruto sat back on the couch as he looked at the two kunoichi again. Tsunade was looking at him. Geez, you have him whipped. Tayuya nodded her head. He is completely whipped, but only for me, right Naruto-kun? The blonde-haired man that was sitting on the couch just nodded his head as the kunoichi looked at him. Tayuya looked back at Tsunade, a mischievous smile appearing on her face. We are here to tell you that I moved in with him. Tsunade looked at them. What? I said no. Tayuya couldn't help but smile. I know you did, I didn't fucking care. Tsunade growled at her. Fuck. Now you really will get knocked up. Tayuya looked at her. What the fuck? What does that even mean? Tsunade smiled. I don't fucking care if you want to know. Tayuya narrowed her eyes at her. Going to play it like that, are you? Tsunade nodded her head and Tayuya looked over at Naruto. I want my prize, right now. Naruto's eyes widened in fear. Please Tayuya-chan, not right now. Can't it be another time? Tayuya narrowed her eyes at him as she walked towards him slowly, trying to entice him into doing what she wanted. Naruto looked at her as he tried to back away, but the damn back of the couch got in his way, though what happened next would make him lose no matter what. Tayuya sat on his lap, looking at him with soft eyes and speaking in a sweet tone. Naruto-kun, you wouldn't deny me, would you? Naruto looked at her, not able to reply, making her know that she had him. Tayuya smiled internally while on the outside she held a pout. Fucking got him already. Naruto sighed. I'm sorry Ba-chan. Tsunade rose her eyebrow at him and then her eyes widened in horror as the two proceeded right there on the couch in her office. She yelled for them to stop, but it was doing no good, so she quickly ran out with a red face. As she ran out, the only thing heard was grunting, moaning, Tayuya swearing and Tsunade screaming, I will never forgive you for this one. When they finished about an hour later, Tayuya was cuddling into his chest with a smile. That was great Naruto-kun. Naruto sighed. I feel bad for Ba-chan though. Tayuya nuzzled her head on his chest before letting a yawn escape. I don't. She shouldn't have insulted me. Naruto smiled. Come on Tayuya-chan, let's go home, okay? Tayuya nodded her head and they got dressed, then went back to their apartment. When they got close though, they heard a noise they shouldn't be hearing. When they slowly opened the door, they saw Tsunade and Jiraiya going at it on their couch. Naruto quickly covered his eyes, not wanting to see his mother and father figuring having sex. Tayuya on the other hand was irate with rage. What the fuck are you two perverts doing on my fucking couch? Tsunade smiled. Oh Kami. I am getting my revenge. Tayuya growled at her. This is unforgivable. Tsunade moaned out. Fuck me harder Jiraiya. Naruto pulled on Tayuya's shirt. Can we go now Tayuya-chan? This is very uncomfortable for me. Tayuya looked at him then sighed. Fine. But you're switching the couches. The one in our apartment with the one in her office. Naruto nodded his head then kissed her cheek. Thank you so much Tayuya-chan. Tayuya sighed as she nodded. She had a smile as she felt Naruto wrap his arm around her. I love you Tayuya-chan. Tayuya leaned her head on his shoulder. Kiss ass. To be continued.